feel like it's just been one thing after another, to be honest. Obviously, lockdown, we were extremely busy. And then obviously the cost of living crisis, we've had to put on new services that we haven't received any funding for. So we're trying to meet the needs in the community, but without the funding coming through, which is really tough. In terms of food bank and people accessing the community store and the mobile shop, the numbers have doubled. We are seeing a lot of people, we have nurses who come in the community store, and everyone's just feeling the pinch. We are struggling to get the food in to meet demands.
Before the pandemic, our food bank was giving out probably 80 food parcels each month. And since the pandemic, we're giving out more like 200 a month at the moment. There's this anticipation that we're stretched, and so it's going to get worse probably, and there will be a greater need as the winter goes on.
For anybody who's on a low income wage, we're seeing a lot more of those accessing the community store. People from all different walks of life access it. The people who we get through for the food bank, they've got nothing. It's an emergency food bank. They've got nothing. They haven't got the bus fare to get down to a food bank, and that's why it comes through to us.
It's interesting that at our Jubilee Club we try to do some talks, sometimes devotional sorts of things, and sometimes really practical things. And we were talking about budgeting, and we showed a little video. And on the video, they were saying to help you budget, maybe you could cut out that trip to the cinema. You might not drive so far. You might not have a takeaway. And as we were looking around, the people who were there, mostly the people who are at the Jubilee Club are people who are on benefits or maybe long-term sick. They're more vulnerable and already at a point where you could say they're sort of on the poverty line. And we were asking how relevant it was.
The amount of people that access it is scary. It's really worrying.
We used to run a job club, and we've changed the title of it because the brief has really changed as people have needed extra support. So now it's sort of job and benefits, help and support. But it's much more now. People bring some energy bills. I had a lady this week who was really concerned, really worried, Jeff. They're saying, can you help me make a phone call to my energy supplier because I've got a letter and I need to do it before the end of the month. And so we're doing that, helping people online to make these changes and things. And also benefits forms. I think that in these days, with the worry that there is, it is affecting people internally, their mental health. We have a counselling service and a few counsellors. And I think also these groups where people can come and meet together, share ideas, share some toast and a cup of tea and a bit of normal life and conversation can be really helpful as well.
Before, a lot of the time it was people would talk about themselves a lot more and how kind of things maybe in the home, maybe were impacting them, or things at work, or individual stresses, things that you couldn't really, wasn't kind of at a community level, it wasn't at like more of a social level. These days when people are coming to us, they're talking a lot about these kind of wider socio-political influences, and like cost of living crisis, energy crisis and that type of thing. One of the things that we talk about is the different forms of currency and exchange that exist within communities. A lot of the time people are still stuck in this mentality of money, and that's the form of exchange that happens. If you need something, you pay for it. What we're trying to do is show people that, yeah, okay, look, money is important and we're not naive to it, but there's a lot of different forms of exchange that happen in communities, And that can happen more in communities, one of which is kind of paying it forward or helping each other out and just kind of reinvigorating really that sense of community that used to exist and that neighbourliness. I know that's hard when people are going through literally, you know, life-changing issues, but that's just one of the ways in which we're trying.
We serve the community here in a variety of ways, I'd say spirit, soul and body.
We're constantly fighting for people who maybe have not got the voice or they've been failed before. And it's just being in the community, accessible, to be able to help people.
And we call what we do socially progressive mental health because that's exactly how it feels. It's not enough just to do a good job today. We have to try and contribute to the bigger picture as a society, as neighbours, to try and do a better job forever. And it's just about seeing the best in people. And if you do that and you can improve people's connection with each other, then that can have a positive impact upon mental health.
It's sad. It is sad. You know, after the day in work, and you're getting people coming up to you, they've either got no money, they're getting a pay forward, you've either got a referral, you're dealing with someone with mental health, and now you're getting people who generally wouldn't ask for help, who are now asking for help because they're worried or they can't survive because everything's gone up. And they were just about managing anyway, and now, you know, they can't. But what can you say to somebody who is budgeting, who is going out to work, who is trying their best, who can't afford to live a basic standard life?